Good morning. Good morning. Feel like I was feeling a little Ellen DeGeneres today. I got into the dance a little bit more. Enjoying that song. Haven't heard that song in a while. How's everybody doing out there? Tuesday is upon us. Who's ready for it? We're that excited? Are we that excited about Tuesday? Is my mic's on? You guys can hear me? Hello? All right. All right. So somebody's got to have something going good. What's going good? Share something with us to get our Tuesday started. We're that energized. Holy moly, guys. I did some traveling over the weekend. We had a lot of traveling. Son plays hockey and we got stuck in some traffic. Um, and I've been really trying to not utilize tablets on these long car rides. I originally tablets and phones kind of were what I think helped me and the kids get through these long car rides. But just with all the data out there right now, surrounding social media and cell phones and how bad they are, not just for us as adults, but for these kids, I've been really trying to work hard on doing some more reading and earning maybe a little bit of social media time in a car ride. But this one got, I mean, we were in the car for like 4 hours and it should have been like two. But it was interesting because we've talked about boredom on this call, and so my son just starts to like observe things that you don't observe when you got your head down just staring at your phone. And one of the things that came up is while we were sitting in traffic, uh, I'm trying to get on the Mass Pike, and there's one lane of traffic, and I can get at the end of that lane, or I can kind of go by the lane and pretend like I didn't know that was the lane for getting on the Mass Pike and see how far down I can get and maybe sneak in front of a tractor trailer or go all the way down and just get in at the merge. And I get in at the end and probably added easily 40 minutes to this car ride. Um, but he's asking, hey, why didn't you go down at the end? I see other people going down at the end. I see other people cutting in, and um, just an interesting time to have a conversation about trying to do the right thing. And there are times, trust me, where I've gone down on that line and it was urgent and maybe I needed to get somewhere else, and maybe I cut a little bit of that. But there was no rush yesterday or whatever it was over the weekend. And so just trying to explain that to him. It was just interesting to me that these are the things that you got to teach, because if just nature just isn't going to make it obvious to you. And I just thought that would be the last place is on a car ride home stuck in traffic, where we're going to be doing some life lessons. But yeah, I think moral of the story on this one is just the downtime and the boredom gets your mind going. Got my son thinking about stuff, looking at stuff, observing things instead of head down in a phone. um, and I think that can apply to all of us, not just our kids. If I'm on a mission to be more present, to do what things are essential. um, and this is just life kind of putting it in front of me. So I don't know, what do you guys think about that? Anybody have something similar, or just have some comments on it? I know everybody here gets in at the end of the line and nobody on this call cuts in on that traffic line, so we don't have to go there. What are we thinking?
Every day.
Every day what?
I'm one of those guys that cuts in front of everybody.
Um, and I didn't even get to the best part of the story. So I said, my son's name is Max. I said, Max, karma is going to get those people that cut in front, and they're going to end up popping a tire, or they're going to be broken down on the side of the road, and it's going to end up taking them even longer than it's taken us, and he's impatient because it's the weekend and he's got only an hour to play his Xbox, which was supposed to happen after his hockey game, which we're not going to get it home in time for. Right. So I'm trying to explain karma and everything. And legit 2 minutes later, we're going down in the backed up traffic line, and there was a car on the side of the road, and he's got a flat tire. And my son's like, "Is that one of the guys that got in?" So it was we were having some fun with it for sure. So what else? What else is going on, Frankie?
Yeah, I hate that. I go to New Haven every single week now. I have clients out there looking at 6 houses every Sunday, and getting back from like the Merit, getting back on the 91 is such a long line. It shouldn't take any time at all. But there's always some jackass that has to go all the way to the front, make the whole line stop, get over. And every time I'm in the line, I'm thinking, don't try me. Don't, not today. Don't try. I've been in New Haven for like 4 hours showing houses. You want to, nope, I'm not the one today. No. It's ridiculous. Should take no time at all to get on the highway, but I feel you, Steve.
Yeah. Oh man, it was funny because another guy tried. So the guy in front of me is like you. He is not letting anybody in, and I don't know if he looked down or to text or something, but he left a gap and somebody cut in, and I thought he was going to hit this guy. I thought he was going to hit him. He went up so darn close, honked his horn. For somebody who was coming in. So we were having fun with it. We really turned our traffic into some fun for sure. Martin.
That's when you just smile and wave.
It's pretty bonkers. But I definitely think, in my more wired days, I'm definitely trying to slow down a little bit. I could get into those fits of rage, especially if you're trying to get somewhere, you're trying to show a house or whatever, and you run into these things, and it's amazing how quickly we can lose it. I think overall, I'm just, it might be 1 extra second that I'm taking to make my decisions or show my reaction or my emotions, but that extra second, that I've been able to develop it's a big second. Right. And that's what these, meditation and journaling and planning and can really help. It might be the difference of a second, but you can really change how you react in that extra second that you get. Jeff and Linda.
I find it fascinating the side of people that comes out behind the wheel of a car. For example, I have a boy-girl twin set, and they are 28 years old. And my daughter is the loveliest, most even-tempered, sensible, reasonable girl. And until you get her behind the wheel of a car, and this side of her comes out. I don't know where it's from, but my son, her twin, told me, and he doesn't live in town. So he was in town and he was driving, and he said, "So Mom, I'm driving." And all of a sudden I go, "Oh, that's Lexi." So he gives her a friendly toot, and my beautiful, elegant girl takes her hand out of the window and flips him off. I'm like, oh my gosh, where did this person come from? So and my ex-husband is one of the most reasonable, logical, left-brain people. And you get him behind the wheel of the car, and this demon comes out. I don't know where this stuff comes from. So to save my sanity, when I'm in the car, I always tell myself that whatever this person in front of me is doing, clearly there's a medical emergency and they've got to be somewhere. Something's happening that is so critical, and that's why it is driving them to behave this way. You have to stay sane and not get into the mix.
Yeah. That was my explanation to my son. I said, if there's a medical emergency, like we got something, like, okay, you go for it, but let's just get at the back of the line. Do the right thing.
Yeah, and just stay chill. Don't let them steal your peace, steal your joy, and wreck your day.
Anybody
Or,
have
or
any?
worse yet, pull out a weapon.
Yeah.
And there's always that too, right? You hear about insanity where somebody shoots someone over moving in a vehicle. I mean, you just don't know what somebody else is willing to do. And that's what I try to tell my darling, precious girl. Lexi, you can't be flipping people off. You don't know who's going to shoot you. I mean, honest to God, I don't think that's an exaggeration.
No, I mean, it's definitely documented cases of that, and you definitely have to be careful. And that came up as well. I don't know if we talked about gun violence or anything, but they could definitely ram your car, force you to go off the road. Like people can get crazy. Sue.
So this was quite a while ago. My children were very young. Some guy cut my ex-husband off, and my ex-husband just pulled close to him, and the guy ended up stopping in front of us, and he came out with a bat. I'm like, oh my God. So you never know. And this was in Chicopee. It was just like, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
let's get back in the car and let's get out of here. If you don't get back in the car, I'm leaving you here. You can't do this in front of the kids. It's crazy.
Yeah, it gets crazy. We hopefully these cars will drive themselves soon, and we're getting closer and closer, and we can get everywhere faster. And supposedly the data says with these GPS auto driven, there will not be traffic. Can you imagine a world without traffic? Holy moly. That'll be a day. Martin.
So, quick fact. Supposedly Massachusetts has the safest drivers because we're the most assertive. And the second thing is a lot of this road rage can be very easily avoided by, if you're in the passing lane and you're not passing anybody, just pull over, especially if you have New York plates on the Mass Pike. That's all. For those who driving Massachusetts understand.
Very simple. They don't teach you that in driving school, do they? Frankie.
I think to Martin's point, we got a special name for mass drivers in Connecticut. I don't know if you've ever heard it before. So that's not true in the least. And you're right, though. Like, that's a law. I think it's in Jersey. And it's like right on the highway, if I remember. It's like, if you're not passing, get over. And I'm like the nicest person. Go, come on, get over. Come on, go ahead. Stop sign, let's go. But like Linda was saying, my wife is the nicest person I've ever met until she's behind the wheel of the car. And then it's like, I'll talk to her on her way home from work. She works in Chicopee. And then it's blowing my eardrum out. She's screaming at people, yelling, flipping people off, just a total monster on the highway, just talking to people who will never hear her. Never at once hear. I never let her drive when we're together. I always have to drive, because if I let her drive, I'd be fighting somebody twice a month. No question about it. Because she's such a terror on she needs medication or therapy when it comes to driving. It's just so bad. So I don't know, Linda. We got to figure something out.
Yeah. Well, hey, you didn't know this was going to be the topic for the morning call, but we spend as agents a ton of time in these vehicles. So, having some safe driving strategies and taking advantage of your windshield time. I don't know how much we've really talked about that here, but I don't know what the average agent is. Productive agents got to be on the road average 3-4 hours a day between appointments and stuff like that. So, having a strategy for windshield time, having, a curated list of what your go-tos are it doesn't always have to be right. You're learning something, but I don't know, can half the time be learning something? And sometimes you need to put on some music and jam out. I get that. But with the amount of time that we end up spending in our cars, trying to get some education in, listen to a podcast, whether it's on investing or it's on sales or it's on marketing, and having those things queued up, personal growth stuff, so that you can just listen to it, right? You're not fiddling with it. You're not trying to decide when you're in the car, when you have the time. You've already got your curated list. You go to your list. Oh, that's right. These are the things that I wanted to listen to. These are the podcasts that I wanted to get to next. So I think just pre-planning that stuff and having it curated and ready to go can really be beneficial. So I don't know if anybody wants to share any tips or tricks around that they are utilizing. All right, let's just open it up. Who's got something going on a deal that'd be a great share for the group? Something that you learned, something that you're struggling with. Gilly.
I was just wondering, I watched a video the other day and someone, it was a woman, she was a real estate agent, and she was talking about hit counters and how important those are um, to look at with your listings. And I tried to look on, the MLS yesterday. I couldn't find them, and I didn't know if um, anybody looks at the hit counters and, maybe can elaborate a little bit more on those.
Lauren.
Not the hit counters through MLS, but if you're looking for specific data on a listing that we have and you reach out to Alvin, he can provide you a marketing report from the data that we currently have on our properties and get it sent over to you. It's pretty nice looking, and I've always enjoyed sharing them with my clients, especially if it's something that, has been sitting a minute.
Yeah, mine's been sitting, so that's why, I just wanted to kind of give him something more than what I'm, you know, seeing on the MLS. So, all right, I'm going to do that today. I didn't know anything about hit counters. So, and she said how important they are to take a look at just to see, if it's overpriced, you can show your clients, it's overpriced because of X. And I don't know, I just guess it has a lot of information that I wasn't aware of.
You've obviously looked at views on Zillow, Keely.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Okay. Margareta.
A question. I guess I'm not sure what is that head counters. Can someone clarify that?
I'm assuming it's just the number of views, like on a Zillow or a Realtor or on your MLSs. It's how many client matches that there are, right? So, hey, this Keely, correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't heard it called hit counters, but client matches, or is that what you're talking about? Hey,
Yeah, well, that's kind of where I'm kind of confused. I just didn't know. She said it's something that you can share with your clients, your sellers, and I'm not. It was kind of a really quick video, but I just wasn't certain. That's why I wanted to bring it to the call and see if anyone else had any experience with this.
I think that's all she's talking about. So, hey, you had 500 hits, right? So 500 matches. There's 500 buyers working with an agent in your MLS that this property meets. And some of the MLSs, I'm not sure if all of ours do this, but they have a nice feature that says if you drop the price to X, so without having to drop the price, say you were at 525, hey, if I drop from 525 to 500, I'm going to go from 600 client matches to 750 client matches, right? So, hey, we'd pick up an extra 150 potential buyers. That's a whatever, I don't know, 20% increase over what we currently have. So this would be a really smart decision for us to make this move with our next price reduction.
Yeah.
Jeff
Okay,
and Linda.
Go ahead, Linda.
Yeah, hi. The reports, are you looking at ListTrac? I mean, because we try to send out ListTrac and the pricing benchmark report out of showing time. ListTrac we get from our MLS, and that does that. It shows number of hits per website. It tells you regionally where they come from. It might tell you, hey, we're getting hits out of the Midwest and California. So it shows a detailed report there. And we send that out every Monday to our clients for all of our seller clients. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, I think that's what she was referring to. I've never heard that term. So that's why I kind of just wanted to bring it to the call, because I'm not, I think that's what she's referring to, but I've never heard it.
Yeah,
Hit
it's a super
counters.
nice report, and we can send you one so you can take a look at it. It's very, very detailed and lovely to send to your clients. So we can send you one so you can see if that's something you feel like you'd like to send to your sellers.
Oh yeah, that would be lovely. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah, this list track is something that we get out of the MLS down here, and I believe it's available nationally.
Okay,
Yeah, I
awesome.
think
Thanks, you guys.
it's that one. That list track is definitely going to be MLS specific. So I don't know if Smart has that, Keely. I don't know if anybody on the call
Yeah,
can.
I'm not sure.
Or maybe you could call your local board and ask them if there's, something that is comparable to that, so that they could plug you into or direct you to. I would think that most MLSs would have something that you can comprehensive that you can send to your sellers. It's such a nice tool to have.
It really is.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Anybody else want to comment on this? On, hey, there's this tool in this MLS, or it's something different than ListTrac, or anybody using anything besides, the MLS or Zillow to look at this data? I know Lauren mentioned Ylopo has our seller report, which is nice. Okay, good little topic, Keely. Thanks for bringing that one today. Who else has got something? One of the things that came across my desk was adding personal property to offers. So, Jay, I think you were the one that submitted this. I don't know if you are on. You are. Do you want to speak to that one, Jay? Was there anything in particular that came up on this personal property piece?
Yeah, it was specifically, I think it was a swing set in the backyard, and then maybe it was a kitchen island or some kind of kitchen cabinet or something like that. So the lender
Was
just
the
kind of
agent
kicked
just
back.
the lender
Yep.
kicked it back?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Maybe it was before the purchase and sale. I guess they must have seen the offer. So they'll correct it in purchase and sale and then just add a separate addendum afterwards.
Yeah, so that's typically the workaround that you can bypass the lenders, and they'll kind of look the other way on these things, is getting a separate addendum regarding personal property. Obviously the lenders are concerned here with that there's not sizable pieces of personal property that could add up to significant value, where they're now financing a car, a boat, a tractor, whatever the case might be. Typically some furnishings, some TVs, appliances are going to stay, is not going to be an issue. But it's a good little topic. Maybe somebody's got an interesting scenario that they had regarding personal property that would be a good share, or something to watch out for. Think of anything, Martin?
So we did it just like last week. We made the offer. It comes fully furnished with all decor, everything. And the bank just said they had to put, I guess, in the that there was no monetary value for all the furnishings and everything.
Would they have you add a clause to it or something?
Yeah, I guess that the lawyers just put in that anything that comes with the house has no monetary value with the purchase price of the home.
And who kind of called that out? The attorneys wanted that in there prior to the lender even saying anything, or the lender?
Actually, no, the lender reached, because I sent as soon as we got it assigned, the offer signed, I sent over to the lender. Lender saw that and then just asked that if we can put that into the contract, the PNS.
Okay, I actually haven't seen that verbiage added, but if that's what it took to get it through underwriting, then that works for me. Great share. Who else has got something around this topic? Molly.
Yeah, I've seen that before too, where in purchase and sale, it'll like where it lists the appliances to be included, and then it'll say like, and at no monetary value, desk or whatever else included. Whenever I get an offer that has, personal property on it on the list side, I always just say, let's just add it to that inclusions, exclusions document. That way it's all separate from the actual offer. We can choose, if that goes to lender or not, if they need it. So just having it separate, I think, is the way to go.
I love that. That's a great idea. So if you're not using inclusions, exclusions, those are great forms. I'm trying to think of which markets where we are, it's required, but it just makes it so much easier. So there are no questions. Lauren, did you want to speak to that?
It's Connecticut. We have the seller's statement of property is required as part of, excuse me, a listing. Massachusetts, we don't, not positive on Florida. And we do have something similar in Rhode Island as well, similar to Connecticut.
Yeah. To me, even if it's not required, in the state that you're operating in, these inclusions, exclusions docs just make it so clear so that we're not getting to a final walkthrough and somebody's questioning what's included and what's not. And I love Molly's suggestion here that we're adding stuff. It just makes it so simple to add that to it. A great share. Who else has got something? There's got to be some other weird stuff with regards to personal property that would be a good share for this call. Nothing else weird on personal property? Jeff and Linda.
Okay. Another reason why it's really, really good to use the inclusion exclusion form and to specify is because you might, as we did, have an unreasonable seller who, the day of closing, when the buyers did the walkthrough, had removed the second refrigerator from the basement that was supposed to be included, but because unbeknownst to us, but because the buyer's agent did not itemize that piece when they made it, their inclusions and exclusions, she said, no, it wasn't in the contract. Sorry. So even though it was in the listing, even though she said that she was going to include it, they failed to put it into their offer, and with the assumption that it never assume, right? Never assume, because if it isn't in that actual contract, you might have a terrible seller who does something like that to a buyer.
Yeah, and this seller in really, it was just such bad form that she did that behind our back. Didn't tell them. She knew that the premise was staying. It was discussed prior, so there was no reason that she shouldn't have known. It was just a malicious intent on her part.
Yeah. So just the point being, like, never assume that just because something is in the listing, all items included, or whatever, that it will be. If it is not in that contract, it does not exist, and you don't have any leg to stand on. So that's just a cautionary tale from people who got hurt by a seller.
Yeah, I think that's the key there is, I think the buyer could turn around and argue that, false advertising, you put it in the listing, you advertise there. But I think in your case, what's key here in my mind is the buyer's agent then came back and specifically itemized. So once you start to itemize as the buyer's agent, now you can't go back and say, oh, but it was in the listing. It's like, no, because all that other stuff was in the listing and it wasn't in the contract.
Correct.
So you either got to say, as all appliances to remain as per the MLS, or you're going to start to be specific about, as the buyer's agent, what you want to stay. So it's a great point, and it's a great share, and so hopefully somebody's going to save themselves from getting burned on something like that.
And we'll always say, if it's not in writing, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. So it's just a great way to cover yourself, cover your buyer, cover your seller. It never hurts to itemize. So I really love the idea of that exclusion inclusion form. That is not a form that we had in Illinois where this particular transaction took place. So I like that a lot.
Martin.
So quick question, as far as like doing something like, instead of an itemized, if there's a bunch of items, like the whole, everything staying in the house, could you put as pictured in MLS?
As pictured?
Yes, like the MLS, because like one offer that this was a couple weeks ago, we did. I was talking about, well, if there's a lot of items, let's write everything down. She's like, no, just she was just kind of being lazy because I get it was a company that was selling the home, not a person. So she just pictured as an MLS.
I don't know if anybody's got any thoughts on that. I mean, if the attorneys were okay with it, I guess, yeah, I guess I would just make sure I PDF that MLS with all the pictures because, you could down the road, you could remove a picture from the MLS. So at that point, I would have, I guess taken the pictures, almost maybe have to make the pictures part of the addendum. Molly?
I've had this happen before where they were buying like literally all the furniture, and it was tedious, but we did have them like go room by room, and we listed out all the specific furniture that was staying.
Yeah, I really think that's the better way to do it, Martin. So I don't know, has anybody else taken this as pictured in MLS approach? Yeah, interesting. It might be a good little test case, Martin. I wonder if you could throw all the pictures into Chat GPT and say, "Hey, could you please make an itemized list of all the items in these pictures?" It'd be an interesting test case. I think AI could do it. So maybe we can use some technology and get an itemized list.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys, as always, great call. Enjoyed this one. We had some random stuff today. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and have yourselves a great Tuesday, and we will get back after it again tomorrow morning. All right, take care.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks a lot.
Bye.